Well, family of God, we're in Monday's lesson in the Holy of Holies. In the Holy of Holies. Oh, beloved, this is a sacred special lesson. It's a special study today, and we are continuing in this a week's focus on light shining from the sanctuary. Well, today we find out that Jesus is up to something in the most holy place of the sanctuary. But first, let's talk about the Day of At-One-ment, the Day of Atonement. Leviticus 16, Leviticus 23, Hebrews chapter 9, all speak about this day. And on this day, this special day, the people of God, the 10th day of the seventh month of the year, the people of God had to afflict themselves. All regular business ceased. There was no work. The people had to search their hearts. They had to humble themselves. For on this day, a special ceremony would be performed in the earthly sanctuary to remove sin that had been accumulating all year in the sanctuary, to remove it beyond the camp and to place it on the being who caused sin symbolically in the world. So what did the priest do? The priest would take the Lord's goat, take the blood from the Lord's goat and go into the holy place and anoint the brazen altar and put it on the horns of the golden altar and symbolically cleanse the entire sanctuary. During this period of time, the people were praying. The people were searching their hearts. The people were trying to make sure that they were in right vertical relationship with God. That's what was happening in the Holy of Holies. And that's what was happening outside the Holy of Holies, where the people of God were. After this ceremony was over, those sins, the sins from the sanctuary, would be conferred onto the head of Azazel, the scapegoat, another goat. A scapegoat, representative of the devil himself, that the sins of God's people would be confessed upon that scapegoat. That scapegoat would be taken way out into the wilderness and would wander until it dies. Symbolic of what will happen to Satan when Jesus returns, and after the judgment scene, that Satan will be that goat that wanders in the wilderness and is destroyed. Symbolic of the fact that he is the one who has led the world into sin. In 1844, at the end of those 2,300 mornings and evenings, we come to 1844, and the what has happened on earth is a pattern of what happens in heaven. Jesus moves in now to the most holy place, and he begins this process of judgment, but this process also of reconciling people, of rendering final judgment, and one day placing on the head of the scapegoat, the devil, all the sins of humanity from the beginning of time. Beloved, I don't know about you, that's not something to be feared. It's something to be desired. All we need to do is surrender our hearts to God, to trust that that which Jesus is doing, because he is such a powerful, exalted minister, such a powerful high priest, because of what he is doing, we ought not be fearful. We ought to just surrender to him, for he will sanctify us and give us sanctuary, give us safety in God during this process. That's the process happening right now. The antitypical Day of Atonement is happening right now. As we study today, let's not forget that we are in a process that is solemn. Let us afflict ourselves, humble our hearts, and look to Jesus.